Hey guys, it's Chris again here, CaribbeanPot.com. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen. Happy New Year, guys. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, above me you're going to see the subscribe link. Click on subscribe and leave me your questions below. Today we're making Geera chicken. Let me give you a peek of what we're doing here. The pot's been going now for about 7 minutes. It's nice and lovely. The chicken is looking juicy. Yeah, I use chicken breast, which is typically a dry piece of the chicken, but trust me, this is gonna be a nice, spicy, juicy, tender. I mean to say, this is gonna be one of them wicked kind of dishes you're gonna be doing over and over again. It's been cooking now for about 7 minutes, but let me chat with you for a second. I'm just gonna put that lid back on there. About a year ago, I posted the recipe for Geera pork, and that's probably where this dish really comes from. It's a traditional dish down in the islands. Geera, or as others may know it as cumin, is used to really enhance the flavor of the meat, traditionally pork. I posted that Geera pork recipe about a year ago, and a lot of you wrote back and said, "Hey Chris, I'm not into the swine, man. What can I do?" Well, here we go. I'm making it with chicken, but it's just any old chicken breast, and it's not gonna be dry and tasteless and stuff like that. This is gonna hit the spot, trust me, guys. So let's get cracking. We're gonna be making up this Geera chicken here, guys. I tell you, the entire house has that lovely smoky spicy scent that Geera in any sort of meat is famous for. Let's get cooking, guys. Hey guys, let's quickly run through the ingredients for making the Geera chicken. In the bowl here, I've got about 2 pounds of chicken breast that I cut up into maybe about 1-inch cubes, and then I washed it with some lime juice, and water, and then I drained it dry. If you want to use dark meat, like let's say boneless thigh or boneless drumsticks or something, you can do that. You can also mix it up, so a chicken breast and some dark meat, but you want about 2 pounds of chicken to for this. Here I have about a teaspoon of salt, half of a fairly large onion, 1 habanero pepper. You can use Scotch bonnet or any sort of hot pepper that you like. I've got maybe about 4 sprigs of thyme here, 4 cloves of garlic. We want that rich garlic taste to this dish. Here I've got the actual star of the show, the roasted Geera, which has been ground. I've got 1 tablespoon of that ground roasted Geera. Geera is basically cumin, nice and smoky. Here I have 2 heaping tablespoonful of cilantro. Typically you'd want to use shadow benny, but I didn't have any shadow benny, so obviously the next best thing is the cilantro. Here I've got 2 scallions that I chopped up. We're also going to need some fresh ground black pepper, maybe about a 1/4 teaspoon of that, and some vegetable oil I've got here, maybe about 2 tablespoons of that. So these are the ingredients here, guys. If I missed anything, as usual, while I'm cooking, I'm gonna mention that to you. Next up, what we gotta do is to season the chicken to allow it to marinate for about half an hour or so. So I'm just gonna put the salt in there, the cilantro, which I chopped up, the scallions, that hot pepper. I have seeds and everything in there. This is gonna be very, very hot and spicy. Now if you don't want to put the seeds in there, that's where most of the heat is gonna be. Remove the seeds and you won't have it as hot. I have the fresh thyme here. I'm just gonna put all those leaves in there. And pretty much what I'm gonna do now is give this a good stir and then allow it to marinate for about half an hour. I've got my pan here on a medium-high heat, and all I'm going to do is add a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil to the pan. And prior to that, what I did was I chopped up the garlic as well as the onions into small pieces, and we're pretty much set now to cook this. Once the oil is hot, we're going to add that onion and garlic and allow it to sweat a bit, allow it to release all those wonderful flavors. Now what I want to mention to you guys is the chicken had been marinating now for about half an hour, and what I forgot to mention was I also included the black pepper in there in the marinating process. So all I'm going to do now is add the onions and garlic to this. And you want this to cook for about 4 or 5 minutes on a sort of a low heat, just to release all the flavors, to soften everything up, but not allow it to burn or anything like that. It's now been cooking for about 3 or 4 minutes. If you notice, the edges of the garlic and onion started to go that golden color. You can really smell that rich garlic flavor throughout the entire kitchen. All we're going to do now, guys, and we want to turn the heat all the way down to low, we're going to add that roasted jeera, or as it's also known, cumin, to the pot. Now, this may seem a bit strange for those of you who are familiar with making Geera chicken or Geera pork, because a lot of times you tend to find that they would marinate the chicken with the roasted jeera. But what I find works even better is by adding it to the hot oil and the garlic and everything here, it allows it to toast. And by toasting it, it releases even more flavor. So all I'm going to do is give that a good stir. You may want to put the fan on in your kitchen. It will be a rather strong, smoky smell coming out of this. But again, we're toasting this up. I'm just going to allow this to cook for a couple of minutes. It will start sticking to the bottom of the pan, so you really need the heat to be very, very low. The whole idea here is to toast it and incorporate all that garlic and onion flavors all into one. Your kitchen should be covered in a wonderful, smoky, sort of spicy scent. It's been cooking for about 3 minutes now, guys. What I'm going to do around the 4 or 5 minute mark is to add the chicken pieces, the seasoned chicken pieces, into the pot now. The marinade, everything is going into the pot now, and we're going to give it a quick stir. At this point, what you want to also do, guys, is turn up the heat to about a medium-high heat, because you want to really brown, not really brown, but seal in the pieces of chicken with that rich base that we just created. I've now added all the chicken, the marinated chicken pieces, to the pot here, guys. I've given it a good stir. The heat is on a medium-high heat. So all I'm going to do now is put the lid on the pot here and allow that to cook for about 15 minutes before we do anything else. After about 4 or 5 minutes on that medium-high heat, you will notice the chicken will start to spring a lot of its own juices. What you want to do, give the pot a stir and turn the heat down a bit to a gentle simmer. We want that liquid that the chicken created to cook in that liquid, basically. We don't want to add any foreign liquid to this, because we really want that heightened flavor of the jeera. So I'm just gonna, I turned it down now, and I'm gonna allow it to cook for another 10 minutes or so. So it's already been cooking about 5 minutes. It's gonna cook another 10 minutes on the low, gentle simmer. The pot has been going now for about 12 minutes since we started cooking, since we added the chicken pieces to this, guys. And as you can see, it did release quite a bit of liquid. Now, we want this to be succulent and tasty. We don't want it to be dry, being that it's chicken breast. Chicken breast is notorious for being dry. So what we're going to do now, and this should be fully cooked, we don't want to overcook this. So we're going to turn up the heat and burn off all of that liquid. It's been cooking now on high. I'm just going to give it a quick stir for about 3 minutes. So all that liquid is burned off. What I'm going to do now, guys, is turn off the heat, and that's it. The Geera chicken is all done. Notice there's no liquid on the bottom of the pan. I'm just going to transfer it over to this bowl here. Maybe I'll give you guys a better view of what it should look like. It's nice and dry. Well, there's no liquid. It's not dry. It's going to be nice and succulent, even though we used white meat or chicken breast in this. This is something similar to, you know how the Spaniards, they've got their tapas. This is what we call a cutters. It's pretty much the same thing. Bar food, where you go to a bar, you're having some drinks, and this would be served with toothpicks and you would eat it. It's also great as a side dish for any meal. It's going to be nice and spicy, a lot of pepper in here. So guys, here we go. This is the Geera chicken for all of those of you who asked me or requested something other than pork. Guys, remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, above, click subscribe. Below is where you're gonna leave me your comments. And give the video the thumbs up. Like the video. It's much appreciated when you do that. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen, guys. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Have a great day.